So I want to talk about the worst kept secret in professional sports, sports media, sports entertainment, however you want to label it. Mike Golic said on his radio show today something that I talked about 2 or maybe 3 years ago on my old channel. And if I can find that video, I will have the link below in the comment section. You guys can hear it for yourself. What I thought about Mike Golic and Mike Greenberg, going in two completely different directions. Mike Golic is the host. Mike Greenberg is still the host of Get Up, the morning television show. You might as well say that's his television show, even though he hosted with other people. He collaborated with other people with Get Up. And Mike Golic still, staying on radio, as well as he still has that Golic and Wingo. I believe it's still on ESPN 2 or ESPN News. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I do occasionally listen to it on the radio, on satellite radio. But Mike Golic made an announcement today that Golic and Wingo last day on ESPN Radio will be, I believe, July the 30th or the last at the end of July. And he talked about how his contract's going to be up at the end of the year. So is Wingo. And he's also talking about, instead of just sitting around, he rather still contribute to ESPN. He's still going to do NFL Live. He also said, and he mentioned that he's going to be hosting some college football games, if that even occur this year, and other things around ESPN and ESPN Radio. And like I said years back on my old channel, how I felt like Golic and Wingo radio show was already doomed before it even started. The ratings have dropped. If you compare Mike and Mike radio ratings compared to Golic and Wingo's ratings, there's no comparisons. Okay, and the viewer base or radio listeners have on both, even though it was on ESPN2 and ESPN Radio, the ratings has slipped. And a lot of people are going to blame it on the corona. Blame it on the corona, okay? This was a bad idea from the word go, okay? And I don't want to go into full details why I believe it was a bad idea from the word go, but Mike Golic thought that, just his name alone, his presence alone, it's going to be business as usual. We're going to get the same viewership. We're going to still have we're going to average the same people listening to the radio show or watching it on ESPN, and it just never materialized, okay? Now, I also said on this channel a couple of weeks back how Mike Greenberg, ESPN is shuffling the decks on how on their content, all right? And I also made a video talking about how what's going to take the spot of Golic and Wingo. And there's been a lot of rumors suggesting that Keyshawn Johnson is probably going to do the morning radio at that time slot. A lot of people are, not too sure that's going to be very successful. But was Wingo and Golic successful? There's some people that are thinking that Mike Greenberg is going to come back to radio, and he's going to take that hour spot. Now, there also have been that time slot that Golic and Wingo has currently right now. Now, there have also been talk, and this is all rumors and speculations, okay, that Golic was trying to orchestrate a deal with Greenberg, even though they have the same agent, and that got turned down. I don't know if it's more so with ESPN or more so with Greenberg. I think it's a combination of the both. I feel like Greenberg wants to do different things and talk about different things. And due to this year, this questionable year of are we going to even have sports? Greenberg can, even though if let's just say hypothetically speaking that Greenberg takes that morning time slot that Golic and Wingo has, okay, and there's no sports. I feel like Greenberg can fill up that time slot with other issues or address other things. I think when you look at Goldberg and Wingo, Golic and Wingo, Goldberg. I say Goldberg, Golic and Wingo. When you look at their time slot, they were, and I don't know if people are accustomed to listening to their radio show, but it's primarily football because that's their expertise, okay? But anything outside of that, you could tell that they're stretching some issues or NFL news a little bit too long because there's really nothing else you can talk about due to the climate that we're in with the coronavirus and all that. So I feel like Greenberg, a lot of people are suspecting he's coming back to radio and he's probably going to take that time slot. Or, there's been a lot of rumors that Keyshawn Johnson is going to take that morning time slot. And they're going to pair him up with Jay Williams. And I forgot who else they were going to pair him up with. Some former basketball players. And a lot of people want to say, well, is this going to be successful? Look, radio is a revolving door. The ideal of thinking that you're going to have a successful radio show on the air for 20 plus years, that no longer exists no more. We're not in that climate no more. That's 20 years ago when networks were trying to get morning shows to last forever and ever and ever. Eventually all good things come to an end. And I think with radio it's a revolving door. I think a lot of networks don't want to be tied down to a personality for that long. And they want to review that personality in shorter contracts, like 3-5 year contracts. And, they just, if they have to pay a little more, they'll pay a little more. But if they want to move on from that personality, they can freely move on from that personality. And there's been a couple examples of personalities that wore out their welcome at networks and they had to buy them out, okay, because they had them under a long-term contract. And you don't need a long-term contract in these type of climates. A 3 or 5 year deal is perfect, okay? That's going to be your new 10-year, 20-year deal, okay? 3 and 5 years. You don't want to be tied down to the same personality, all right? So, like I said years ago, I thought this was a bad idea. Golic and Wingo, they're pretty much on the same thinking path. They talk about, and I apologize for the sound, the background, okay? But when you look at it, they was pretty much the same person, okay? They would just been better off just calling it the Golic Show, all right? They don't bring anything different, in other fields, because one's a ex NFL player that's now an NFL announcer, and another one is a specialty in the NFL. That's an NFL reporter or personality, however you want to call it. Okay, so that was pretty much the same person, and that's what made Mike and Mike a lot better, because you had two different guys coming from two different backgrounds. Okay, you got one guy that's his claim to fame is sports journalism. Okay, and then you got another guy who's an NFL ex-player. Okay, the ideal of an ex-player and a journalist, having their own show, that was, 20 or 30 years ago, that would have been the perfect ideal to have a tandem, but not anymore. Okay, so like I said, this was the worst kept secret, and this has been out for like 2 years now. Okay, the first 6 months of Wingo and Golic, ESPN was already regretting their decision, and they were just going to wait it out. Now, Golic also said that he still wants to work for ESPN, and Wingo, I think his contract is up at the end of the year. And, Golic is still interested in working at ESPN. And with Golic, track record with ESPN, I think ESPN wouldn't mind having him there. But they're not going to pay him that big time money, okay, because of his name and his image and what he brings to the table. He's just going to be another personality in the carousel of ESPN, and they wouldn't mind bringing him back, but it's going to be at a lower cost. And you'll see him around different ESPN programs, okay, or maybe hope or being on a radio show a time or two. All right, ESPN wouldn't mind doing that, okay, but I feel like that's only going to happen if if sports do come back. If sports come back and they can start making the revenue again, I can see Golic coming back. But if, the climate is still the same at the end of the year, ESPN might not be inclined of re-signing Golic, okay? Because, everyone is, at a budget. Everybody has budgets, and, they're slashing salary, okay? So I can see him coming back. ESPN wouldn't mind having him back. But if the climate is still the same at the end of the year, it's going to make it kind of difficult, okay? Now, other stops I can see Golic going into, I want to hurry up and put this in the video, Mad Dog Sports. I can see him doing radio, being, a contributor for Mad Dog Sports. That's more for the 50, 60, 70-year-old audience that knows Mike Golic, have seen Mike Golic play. I think, I can see him going into that. I don't really see him going into Fox Sports unless it's their pregame show on NFL, okay? That's, somebody that you can have on the field, but that's only going to apply if, because as of right now, no one knows if the NFL is going to start their regular season. Okay, so all this really hinges on the NFL regular season. Is he going to come back to ESPN or go to Fox? All those decisions are, due to the part of, are we even going to have professional football? Okay, but nothing personal with him. I just feel like as far as a leading personality, in that primetime slot in the morning, I just did not see how that was going to be very successful, okay? And I knew this day was going to come, and, they did, and ESPN, 6 months into this new lineup of Golic and Wingo, they knew that, look, this isn't working, okay? They're not getting the same numbers when they had Mike and Mike, okay? And that was the same with Get Up. From when Greenberg went to Get Up, the first few months of Get Up, not a lot of people were watching that show. So what they do, they moved it back, okay? And now they're talking about cutting an hour, okay? And now they're talking about putting Greenberg in the afternoon lineup, okay, as well as doing Get Up, okay? And then you start hearing the rumors about maybe Greenberg going back to radio, filling that time slot that Golic and Wingo has. But then you also hear about Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Williams. And so no one truly knows until all these pieces start to fall sometime this year, right? So that's all I got for today, guys. I'm going to do another video sometime this week about the coin shortages. I know a lot of you guys love the Kroger videos, so I'm gonna do a Kroger video sometime this week. I'm gonna try to get it. Okay, I'm gonna give you my I'm going to give you my verdict on that and give you my explanation of that. It's your boy. I'm out.